Hey everybody, it's Patrick. Thanks for watching another video. I've got some updates on deductibles. So let's go ahead and go through it right now. I don't want to waste your time. Let's talk about specifically the Gulf Coast. If you live in the Texas region, Florida, anywhere that's basically in the Gulf Coast, cities around that area, I think y'all are waking to a massive increase in not just policy payments, but also your deductibles. So I wanted to make a video describing exactly what you're seeing. The video is titled "The End of 1% Deductibles." We're going to get to that. So this is what we're looking at right now. This is me talking to PAs, public adjusters, talking to insurance brokers, and so forth. If you are living in the Houston region, like we are, or even like I said, Florida, Corpus, New Orleans, any of those Gulf Coast areas, y'all are probably, when you're renewing your policies right now, you're seeing an increase of your policy by around 30%. A lot of the insurance companies right now are considering the Gulf Coast as a very risky area for themselves. I don't know what's changed in the last few years. Maybe for them, they feel like it's cost too much for them to insure people, but even a lot of insurance companies are pulling out of those areas, not even offering policies in those areas right now. Companies like Allstate, Progressive, if you have an Allstate or Progressive policy, you're probably going to be grandfathered in. You'll keep that policy, but if you get off of it, unless you have some type of bundled deal where you're getting, auto insurance or something of that nature with a homeowners policy, they're probably not going to offer that anymore. I think they feel like the Texas Gulf Coast or the Florida coast and so forth is a big loss for them. We've seen other insurance companies, really nice companies like UPC and Lighthouse, also abandon the Gulf Coast region where they gave really fair 1% policies as well as not overcharging on the premiums. They've pulled out as well. And this is something, honestly, that we've been in our industry, in just in general in construction and restoration projects, we've been seeing coming for the last few years. We've seen it go from, $500 deductibles to $1,000 deductibles to 1% policies, and now they're insuring people for 2% policies. It's becoming extremely rare to find a 1% policy on all perils with wind and hail and major events such as hurricanes, tornadoes, natural disasters, things of that nature. In fact, I myself, I saw that my insurance increased my premium, gave me a 2% deductible, and I called that into a broker to see if there's something else I can do. And he only found one insurance company that was willing to give me a 1% policy for twice the amount of money of the 2% policy that they were giving me, which is really crazy. It's come to that point where we see that insurance companies are starting to figure out ways that they can maximize their profitability. Hey, their business is like anyone else, right? They're going to maximize their profitabilities, but it's going to be at the expense of you and me, the consumer. And it's very sad. It really is. The insurance industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They're not a small company. They're not a small, a section of our economy here. And now, if you're living on the Gulf Coast, now if you're not living in the Gulf Coast, you probably still have 1% policies, maybe even $500 policy, deductible policies. But we're not going to have that anymore. The 1% policies are fading out, and they are going to become 2%, 3%, and so forth. I've even seen 5% policies. It's insane. Basically, you are going to be responsible for, in the future, you'll be responsible for taking care of damages unless your house burns down, God forbid, right? But we're at that point now where the insurance company is kind of forcing people to, take these larger policies for more amount of money because you have to have insurance on your house, especially if you have a mortgage. And if something were to happen to your house and you didn't have any insurance, it obviously, if it's a catastrophe, then you're good. But if it's not a catastrophe, let's say it's a roof claim, and your deductible used to be, $3,000 on a 1% on a $300,000 house. Well, now it's $6,000. And what's happening too is they're starting off with these 3% policies, so now it's $9,000. So if you called in a roof claim and your roof is, a $12,000 roof, you're paying 9 grand for that roof. They're only going to pay for $3,000. So you've been paying your premiums expecting them to take care of their portion for nothing in a sense. It's insane. And it's insane that we allow these insurance companies to do this to us. Honestly, it's probably something that needs to be brought up to your local state representatives and so forth on how the insurance companies are even allowed to basically make you pay for damages to your house unless it's burnt down. You might as well get some type of catastrophe, um, insurance policy, which I really wish would be true, because if you were to throw to the side, your premiums every single year, $3,000, $4,000 every single year for 10 years, you would have $30,000, $40,000 saved up. So, hey, if you had an issue where you needed the roof replaced or siding replaced or something, you would actually have that money ready to go. It's crazy. So um, a lot of the insurance companies are claiming that inflation is the issue, that the rise of cost of materials and labor is the reason why they have to increase their policy premiums. And I just don't believe it. When you've got hundreds of thousands of people willing to pay X amount of dollars per month, and then you're raising it by 30%. It's not like they raised the deductible by 2% and then left the rate alone where your premium was the same amount of money. They raised your deductible and then they raised your policy by 30%. So they're finding so many ways to make money off of us, the policyholders. And it's really disappointing. And I hope that there are some people out there who look at this video and say, you know what, that's really ridiculous. So we are coming to a point where probably in the future we're financing, home, remediation projects is probably going to be the thing, because if the deductibles keep on going up, which they have been, I don't see any reason why they won't go from 2% to a standard 3% to a standard 4%. I don't see why that's not going to happen in the future, because they keep on raising it and no one's really making a big fuss about it so far. There'll be a day where you have to finance everything, because it's not like you have $10,000, $15,000 just sitting in your bank account ready to go in case you have an emergency for your house. Most Americans don't have that type of money. Most Americans are financing, and the fact is that with your 1% policies, you could definitely afford it for the most part. I know there's some people that struggle with that, but for the most part, a 1% policy. Hey, I got to pay $3,000 to get a $15,000 roof done. Man, that's a no-brainer, right? I'd rather not pay 15 grand. I'd rather pay the deductible $3,000. But that's no longer going to be the case. So basically, the point of the video is just to update you on what we're seeing out here. And if you have any questions about insurance policies, about deductibles, how they work, why it's important to have a lower deductible on your home policy, things of that nature, please let us know. I really wish that there was some better news on this type of stuff, especially for those who live in our area here. I'd rather make a video about how you can benefit from calling in the claims and so forth, and you still can. It's just going to cost you more money. And hey, I'd rather that it was more simplified, and that the insurance, obviously, they understand they got to make a dollar, but they're going to make a lot of dollars from this type of deal. So leave your comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and give me a like. All right, thanks a lot.